edition of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Sports Now.
Tuesday night, Freddie Freeman continued to unload in California, but the Braves fell short on a night when LA's new-look outfield accounted for 17 total bases and 5 Dodger runs. Tonight, Zach Greinke, fresh off 7 shutout innings, digs in opposite Atlanta's Alex Wood, who aims for a rebound on the West Coast. It's Game 2, Braves and Dodgers, next on Sports South. From sunny Los Angeles, California, it's time for Braves baseball. Another big crowd gathering here at Dodger Stadium for Game 2 of our 3-game series. As always, Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff for the low price every day. The Dodgers beat the Braves 8-4 last night. Let's see if they can get even in this series at a game apiece and keep pace with the victorious Washington Nationals. Hi again, friends. Chip Carey, Joe Simpson. Welcome back to Dodger Stadium. It's a tough road ahead for the Atlanta Braves. Joe, we knew this road trip was not going to be easy for the Braves, and now they're facing one of 2 consecutive Cy Young Award winners in a row for the Dodgers. Zach Greinke gets the ball in Game 2 for L.A.
This road trip is stacking up to be maybe the most difficult, the biggest gauntlet the Braves have faced in some time. They were not able to put away Josh Beckett, who's not been pitching well last night. So now they've got to try and deal with Zach Greinke tonight, Clayton Kershaw tomorrow, that kid Ross down in San Diego, and later on in Seattle, King Felix. So it's going to be a tough road. Coming up, the next 20 games, 17 of them are against teams with winning records. They have 6 games against these Dodgers, 3 against Oakland, who has, by the way, the best record in the major leagues, and 3 against the front-running Nationals in the Braves' own division. So it is a rough and rugged month of August.
Let's not look too far ahead. Let's concentrate on tonight's ball game. Zach Greinke's a man the Braves have beaten, albeit in the playoffs last year. So that gives you an awful lot of hope behind Alex Wood, who gets the ball for Atlanta in Game 2 of the series. It's a beautiful, warm, muggy night for baseball. And when we come back, Tom Hart will talk about Major League Baseball's trade deadline. It's less than 24 hours away, and there's plenty of talk on the old hot stove on a hot day in L.A. next.
as Atlanta tries to even up this series with the Western Division leaders. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Tom Hart. We are inside 18 hours now for Major League Baseball's non-waiver trade deadline. And the question is, will the Braves make a move? Well, they have in the past, moves that have certainly helped this organization in their postseason run. Scott Downs was magnificent when he first arrived from the Angels last season. In fact, he arrived without knowing anybody and was plugged right in to the Braves game that night. Paul Maholm and Reed Johnson came over from the Cubs 2 seasons ago. Michael Bourne redefined the leadoff spot for a Braves team which was struggling to find some punch. It was Farnsworth and Ankiel from Kansas City in 2010, and Adam LaRoche rejoined the organization from the Red Sox in 2009. No matter who or if anyone is able to come over before the trade deadline, one thing is certain. At this time of the year, players' families and themselves have to unpack and repack and uproot their entire lives.
Well, we packed up in about 12 hours from Chicago and drove to Mississippi, and then I drove over the next day. So it was, it was just chaotic packing up the whole family and moving. So it was, it's not the perfect situation, but I guess it's what we signed up for.
It's different, you've got to completely move your life. You got to pack up and you got to go and you got to go quick because I was in the lineup the very next day for Arizona. So and then you got a whole new set of teammates. So it's definitely tough, but it's part of the business of baseball.
So here's a word of the wise and an opportunity to plan. If your last name is Miller, Zepchinski, Kotz, or even Lester or Lackey, you might want to go ahead and pack that suitcase now. Save you some trouble within the next 18 hours. Braves need a win tonight to even this series and for a chance to win it against Kershaw tomorrow. But first up, another date with the Dodgers. Wood and Greinke go head-to-head. Chip and Joe will have the lineups in first pitch right after this.
Wave continues on a lovely Wednesday night. Zach Greinke and the Dodgers hosting the Atlanta Braves in Game 2 of the series. Here's how the Braves line them up. It's presented by skipper Freddie Gonzalez and our friends at Toyota. Freddie Freeman continues his good work at Dodger Stadium. A homer and a couple of RBIs last night. Justin Upton, Evan Gattis, Chris Johnson in the middle of the order as well, with Alex Wood looking for a rebound start as he matches up with a former Cy Young Award winner while with Kansas City.
Zach Greinke's now 30 years old, 6'2", 195 out of Orlando, Florida. His numbers at Dodger Stadium pretty much speak for themselves. 23 starts, he's 15-3, just a .219 opponent's batting average against. This guy throws in the low to mid-90s. He's got a good slider and an outstanding changeup. his 4 keys to pitching success tonight. He gets off to slow starts. You better get him quick. His batting average against in his first 15 pitches, and that's not too deep into the game, is a lofty 351. Left and right, a couple of guys in the order have had good luck against him. Justin Upton, 6 for 17 with a couple of homers. Jordan Schaefer in the lineup is 5 for 11 against him. Hopefully some other guys can do some damage against him tonight as well and do it early.
That's what B.J. Upton did to Josh Beckett last night. An infield single. He added a steal and scored on Justin Upton's sac fly. And the Braves led 1-0, but could not hold on to a couple of leads and fell 8-4 last night.
Did they just say it was 126 degrees?
That's what I heard. This Western trip's supposed to be a refreshing trip for teams from the East Coast. It has been anything but. Bright sunny skies in Los Angeles.
That's got to be a misprint.
I don't believe that number. Sorry. There's just no way. And too high for B.J. Upton. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Believe it or not, the official score announced the temperature at 76 degrees. But it has been unseasonably warm and humid here in L.A. Upton's down on strikes. Wants to know if it was in the zone. Hunter Wendelstedt said yes. And Greinke has his first strikeout coming off a 10 strikeout, 1 walkouting against the Giants last time out.
That's 141 strikeouts for him on the year in 131 2/3 innings. 4-seamer, 95. He's pretty good, folks. Went 15-4 last year for the Dodgers with a 263.
And missed a month of the season. La Stella, a quick strike. I think Braves country has to be awfully proud of what this kid's done in his first 55 big league games. He's been everywhere. A 296 average, 24 RBIs, and 3 hits here last night. Little number out to the mound. Greinke with fire to first. Gets La Stella for the second out. A look at the Los Angeles defense. Let's start in the outfield. It's a crowded outfield. Nothing new on the trade front for L.A. Scott Van Slyke gets the start in left against Alex Wood, a left-handed pitcher. Puig and Kemp in center and right. Uribe, Ramirez, Gordon, and Gonzalez. And A.J. Ellis is in harness behind the plate. Freddie Freeman, a slow roller out to first. And after a game that saw just 1-1-2-3 half inning, Greinke turns one in the top of a scoreless first. Alex Wood goes to work for the Braves. He'll face D. Gordon leading off for Los Angeles. In Los Angeles tonight, Atlanta out in order in the top of the first. Here come the Dodgers at 60-47. LA with a 2.5 game lead now over the Giants out west. D. Gordon is their spark plug. You got to keep him under control. He's stolen 47 bases, and Matt Kemp is coming to life. Joe, a 2-homer, 4 RBI night last night. The question the Dodgers have is, how long is he going to be a Dodger with the deadline tomorrow?
Dodgers are 15-10 against left-handed starters, and Alex Wood happens to be left-handed this season against leadoff men for opposing teams. Not so good. A 400 average, 469 on base percentage, and D. Gordon, well, you can't allow that tonight because last night he only got 1 hit and stole the base when he got on. Alex's last start against the Padres, 5 innings, 12 hits and 5 runs. And for Alex Wood, his work scouting report, he's got to get off to a quicker start. He's been almost going through the entire lineup in the first inning and giving up runs. And to do that, he needs a better changeup than he's been featuring lately, too.
We were shocked at the number of hits that Alex Wood gave up in his last start against San Diego. 12 in total, and it seemed like 9-10 of them went right back up the middle. In fact, Freddie Gonzalez said he can't remember a game where he saw so many ground balls get through for hits. And that was not a knock on Atlanta's defense, but one of those days for Alex back in Atlanta. And a ground ball towards second. La Stella sets, fires, bad throw. And D. Gordon's aboard to start the Dodger first.
Center fielder, number 66, Yasiel Puig.
If you think speed does not put pressure on defense, you're sadly mistaken. Tommy La Stella got to this, backhanded it, but he knew he had to then hurry his throw once he planted. And trying to get a little extra mustard on that throw through wildly.
That is Tommy's third error, and now a very fast man aboard for the Dodgers in front of Yasiel Puig, who had a monster night last night. Puig singled in the first, doubled in the third, tripled in the fifth, singled in the seventh, and struck out in the eighth.
Braves played errorless ball last night. They are so hot, and their confidence is so high you can't give them extra outs.
Runner goes, pitch skied toward right, and that should be playable for Schaefer. It is, and back to first is D. Gordon as Puig flies out for the first out.
Did Puig lose that ball? Because he never dropped his bat, and he got about 20 feet down the first base line.
Number 23, Adrian Gonzalez.
I'll have to take a look. Let's see.
No, he saw it. But it's so far to first base.
Boy. Game's changed, hasn't it? Or better yet, some of the guys that play it have changed. Here's Gonzalez. Runner at first, one out. As big a night as Puig had last night, Gonzalez might be the Dodgers' hottest hitter.
You know, that kind of stuff only happens if it's allowed to happen.
Totally agree. Again, Gordon runs. The pitch is strike. Throw to second. Short hops, and in safely is D. Gordon with his 48th steal.
Every time he gets on, it's pretty much a good bet that he's going to go, and he didn't even get a good jump there. Kind of froze, but outran the baseball. Took it in the ear on the head first slide. Looks like he's all right.
RBI chance now for Adrian Gonzalez. He's second in the league with 70 runs batted in. Giancarlo Stanton with 71, the leader at the start of play today. Speaking of the Marlins, they were beaten by Washington today. 4-3 was the final score. Miami scored 2 more runs in the bottom of the 9th inning and nearly stole another one from the Nats. So Washington, by a full game now, leads the division. Close play, but Gordon back safely.
Like Mike Minor, Alex Wood gives up a higher batting average to left-handed hitters than to right. They both have good change-ups, pitches that you don't typically throw lefty to lefty, which takes away some of their arsenal, but kind of hard to figure that there's that big a discrepancy right there between lefties and righties for Alex.
And Gonzalez was fooled badly. Nice pitch from Alex. That's his first strikeout of the night.
That's more like it.
Shortstop number 13, Hanley Ramirez.
Good breaking ball, centered it at the middle of the plate. Eventually breaks off the plate.
Here's Hanley Ramirez. That missed outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
15 hits for the Dodgers last night. None by Ramirez. Braves pitchers did a good job of keeping him off balance all night.
Among hitters for the Dodgers with 35 or more at bats, Ramirez has the 3rd highest batting average against left-handed pitching on this Dodger club. They have not hit lefties well at all as a team. Dodgers hitting .230 against southpaws all year this year.
Yeah, that's 38 points lower than they hit against right-handers.
Two balls and a strike. Only the Padres have struggled against lefties more than their rivals to the north.
But the Dodgers are 15-10 against left-handed starting pitching.
Good lead by Gordon at second. 2 outs. And Ramirez took a strike. He didn't like the call. 2-2.
This is really a veteran umpiring crew too. Hunter Windlestep behind the plate, the son of a former Major League umpire. Mike DeMuro at first base, the son of a former Major League umpire. Jerry Lane at second. Saw Estabrook behind the plate last night.
.52 RBIs for Hanley Ramirez. And Wood struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts of Gonzalez and Ramirez. Strands D. Gordon at second base, and we're underway in Los Angeles. strikeouts. We move to the second, still scoreless. Let's take a look at tonight's DirecTV standings as we battle on here, approaching the final day of July tomorrow.
Braves game back after the Nationals won today. Need to win tonight to maintain a half-game deficit going into tomorrow. Miami had their winning streak snapped today by the Nationals, but like you said, they almost pulled it off again in the bottom of the ninth.
So Justin Upton ready to go for the Braves in the second. He's our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot feature.
How about these numbers against a guy who's as good as Greinke is? 2 homers and a double included.
And he had a good rip at that pitch and fouled it off. Strike one. Justin approaching some nice round numbers on the back of the bubblegum card. He's 9 hits away from 1,000. He's 6 RBIs away from 500. And a bouncing ball to third. Uribe gave ground, sets his feet, and fires a strike. Yankees retire the first 4 in order. And there's out number 1 for Evan Gattis.
He throws a 2-seamer and a 4-seamer, and he'll throw it to both sides of the plate. Saw him throw the 4-seamer to BJ and strike him out. He'll throw an occasional slider and an occasional curveball and a lot of changeups. But what sets him apart is that he's 7th in the league in strikeouts, and he doesn't walk a lot of guys. 28 walks in 132 innings.
And a quick strike to Evan Gattis, who's looking for his first hit at Dodger Stadium.
Talking to the Dodgers first base coach Davey Lopes and a longtime friend before the game, and Evan Gattis came up to Davey and he said, if I had one of the clubhouse guys send over a baseball, would you sign it for me? And Davey said, you want me to sign it? And he said, yes, please. And he said, yes, of course I'll do that for you if you promise not to throw me out. And Evan had a frozen look on his face like, are you playing tonight?
Great, just what he needs,
yeah.
Right?
It was really funny.
How great is it that a young player knows of the exploits of and how great a player Davey Lopes was. He just missed a corner. Good live fastball at 93. Missed the edge by an eyelash. 1-2.
There's the first base coach.
That one's out of reach of Uribe and headed down the left field line. Gattis has the first Braves hit of the night, and he'll make his way to second base. That's his first Dodger Stadium hit, an extra base hit, and the Braves are in business in the top of the second.
Something off speed, but he couldn't keep it away from Evan. It's because he made a mistake with his location. Kind of dropped it in the middle of the zone. Greinke's last start was at San Francisco in that sweep of the Giants. Brilliant game. 7 innings, a 4-hit shutout ball. Walked 1 and struck out 10.
That series, obviously a bitter rivalry, might go down as the turning point in this divisional race. Not because of the outcomes of the games, although supremely important, but how Don Mattingly set up his pitching rotation. He had his big 3 going against the Giants. San Francisco didn't. And the Dodgers thumped him and swept the series.
Giants are shorthanded in their staff now, too, with the absence of Matt Cain on the disabled list. They acquired Jake Peavy, but he's not having the best of years. And if the Giants aren't careful the way the Dodgers are playing right now, they might run off and leave everybody in the division. Giants are big Braves fans over the next couple of days.
More Giants news after this pitch from Zach Greinke. It's 0-2. to Chris Johnson. Little number slowly hit left side. Uribe gloves, throws on the run, got his man. Gaddis to third with 2 out. The Dan Uggla experiment ended today for the Giants. They released Dan along with Tyler Colvin.
Shortstop number 19.
So San Francisco still looking for an answer at second base. And as Tom Hart reported before the game, about 18 hours before the 4 o'clock Eastern time trade deadline tomorrow.
And that acquisition of Darwin Barney may have been exactly what was rumored, and that was that the Dodgers made a trade for him from the Cubs to keep the Giants from getting him. And the Dodgers today completed that deal and then sent Barney to AAA.
Andrelton Simmons with 2 outs. Shoots it towards second. Off the heel of the glove of Gordon from his knee. Can't make a play. Simmons put it in play, and Atlanta scores Gaddis and takes a 1-0 lead.
He got a horrible read off the bat on that. Dee Gordon was just like he had lead shoes. He didn't move, and then when he did, it was too late. And you can see how late he was getting at that ball that was not hit that hard. But he must have thought it was hit harder because he had his weight kind of toward first base. And that was ugly. Braves will take that, certainly, an early run.
Infield hit and RBI for Simmons. 1-0 Braves for Jordan Schaefer. Still no Jason Hayward. The back still problematic. As Tom reported on Braves Live, it's more and more likely that Jason won't play until San Diego. So Schaefer gets some extended time in the outfield. And he bats with 2 out. So you mentioned the first 15 pitches often key against Zach Greinke. He's thrown 20. He's down a run. And Schaefer didn't get a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. The Braves strike first, a run on 2 hits. An infield single for Simmons brings home Evan Gaddis, and Alex Wood has an early lead. In the bottom of our second inning. 1-0 Braves on an Andrelton Simmons infield hit. It's time for the AT&T Viewers trivia question. Who holds the Dodgers all-time record for most homers in a single season?
I ought to know that.
I don't think the answer is Matt Kemp, although if he continues on the pace he showed last night, he might have the record by the end of the year.
Told you about that conversation with Davey Lopes before the game. He said it was the first time he'd hit a ball to right field, let alone out to right field, in probably a month. He's been hitting a lot of singles, driving the ball into the gaps. But what he did last night was something that they hadn't seen from him in quite a while.
Injury-plagued year for Kemp last year. The Dodgers, I'm sure, would love to see him round into what many thought was MVP form from a couple of years ago. But is he going to be the odd man out at the deadline?
His price must be going up, I'll say that, the way he's playing.
And that's downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. And his price is going up because of this stat line the last 3 weeks.
470 on base percentage to go with it.
High fly ball crushed left center field and gone.
Got Lawrence Welk over there in the dugout. I'll tell you, what's that old saying at the bakery? Get them while they're hot.
Yeah.
We got till about 4 o'clock tomorrow. Well, 1 o'clock Pacific time to get him while he's hot.
3 homers for Kemp in the series, and the Dodgers have tied it up on 1 swing. Now Scott Van Slyke, a pop to right that Schaefer will catch. And there's the first out of the inning.
He made a good pitch with a curveball. He got 2 strikeout pitches with the curveball, but one of the works keys for Alex Wood, a better changeup. That was not.
Ninth home run he's allowed to a right-hand hitter this year, and his 11th home run overall this year. That's Ned Colletti, the fine general manager of the Dodgers. He's 1 win away from 750 victories at the helm in the Dodger front office. Here's Juan Uribe. A 419-foot homer for Matt Kemp in the Dodgers second. The pitch. Out of play foul. It's 2-2. What has to be scary about facing this Dodger team right now is this is a club, Joe, that wasn't hitting home runs at all this month. They've gone bombs away in the first 2 games of this series. This one popped up toward first. Freeman will have plenty of room shy of the bag. 2 outs.
It's infectious when a couple of guys start getting hot and the team starts winning. Everybody has a lot more confidence going to the plate, and they don't want to be the guy that lets anybody down. And they are all good hitters. These guys are streaky hitters for the most part up and down their lineup, but you've also got the steady every night guys like Gonzalez, who has caught fire, and D. Gordon setting the tone at the top. It's a very formidable lineup.
This is A.J. Ellis, the Dodger catcher. In fact, Freddie Gonzalez echoed what you just said. This is like an American League lineup with the DH. It's the way he described it last night. And you could certainly make the case after what they did in game 1 of the series. Another strike to Ellis, 0-2. Off the plate inside, even count. And Wood got Ellis to swing and miss. And that ends the Dodgers' second inning. But Matt Kemp, he's hotter than, well, we won't say a dancing bobcat, but he's hot right now in this series. 3 homers. That one tied it up. A 419-foot blast. A 1-1 game. The third inning. Catch the Braves as they take on the Nationals at Turner Field August 8th through the 10th. Act today and get an upper box seat and 1984 Dale Murphy jersey for just $20. Wow, take advantage of this great deal now at Braves.com/steal. Blue everywhere in this place.
Pretty sunset, no haze, blue sky.
Hopefully an omen for the team wearing the blue tops tonight, as Alex Wood leads off the third. Wood, Upton, and LaStella versus Zach Greinke. Who misfires outside, ball 1.
Greinke was originally in the Kansas City organization. He was a #1 pick, first-round pick, back in 2002 by the Royals. Do you know who signed him?
George Brett.
Tyler Pasternicki's dad, Cliff Pasternicki, signed him. I think they had to borrow some money from George to sign him, but
pretty good chance. Milwaukee, the Angels, and now the Dodgers for Zach Greinke's bubblegum card. And he just struck out Alex Looking. That's his third strikeout of the game, and back to the top of the order we go, and BJ.
Braves beat Greinke last year in the division series. Was that game 2? Yeah. Gave up 2 runs on just 4 hits in 6 innings. But took the loss.
How about the control of Zach Greinke so far?
Yeah. 3 balls.
I heard Greinke described by some before the game today as Maddox-like. In the way he moves the ball around. He throws harder than Greg does. But that kind of control certainly reminds you of Greg at his best.
And really reminiscent of it when he uses his two-seamer, because he can get it. He doesn't have the kind of movement that Greg had, but he likes to try and do the same thing, get left-handers to give up on pitches that run back over the inside corner.
That might have been one of those two-seamers that BJ fouled off his foot.
Missed the shin guard right off the top of his foot.
Nothing in 2 for Upton. Base is empty. Braves third. And upstairs, a ball and 2 strikes.
Greinke's gone to an 0-2 count on 5 of the first 10 guys he's faced.
Just missed with that one.
He wanted it too. Fox track shows it was just a little wide. Shaved it.
Upton tipped it into Ellis's glove. 3 strikeouts in a row for Greinke, who has 4 now in the game.
Second baseman, Tommy Vistella.
That one was a two-seamer. Got him with a four-seamer first time around. That two-seamer ran right back into BJ, who foul tipped it.
Greinke got Listella to tap back to the mound his first time up. And Tommy looks outside at ball 1. Marvelous offensive season among National League rookies for Listella.
There's that occasional curve and a butte.
The only rookie with a higher batting average in the National League is David Peralta of the Diamondbacks. The way he swung the bat against the Braves, you can understand his success. And here are some of Tommy's other rookie ranks this year.
Top 5 in those 3 categories, but he's only 9th in games played.
Tonight's number 56. And this pitch popped up. Uribe in fair territory, right down the third base line, gets there. And Greinke has a 1-2-3 third. He'll bat first for the Dodgers. Tie game at 1.
Run. Welcome back to Dodger Stadium. I'm Tom Hart. This is a great lineup. Before the game, I asked Freddie Freeman just how good the Dodgers were.
They run an all-star up there, every batter, you know, and they go up there and put great ABs, and you know, we got Matt Kemp in the 6-7 hole. It's pretty unbelievable. So it's they're putting some good ABs up, and we got a tough task. You know, they got to run into 3 great pitchers, and you know, this week, and their lineup is something special. We got to be able to get some runs on the board early, get some Woody some help tonight, and go out there and try and see if we can shut them down.
And there's the rub. The Dodgers have been known for their pitching. The offense has been inconsistent, but now 8 home runs over the last 4 games against Atlanta.
That's got to change. As Greinke leads off for Los Angeles, here the Dodger National League ranks.
Yeah, as much maligned as their offense has been, it ain't all that bad, even though the last night marked the first 4-game winning streak they've had all year. It has been inconsistent, but never bad.
Greinke had a big cut and didn't get it.
Yeah, he's a pretty good hitter.
He's won a Silver Slugger in his career, but he is going to be retired by Alex Wood on a sweeping breaking ball, and that's 4 strikeouts for Alex. He's matched Greinke punch out for punch out so far tonight.
He can do that. What he hopes to accomplish is to have Greinke make 2 or 3 more mistakes than he makes.
Gordon reached on a throwing error by Tommy La Stella in the first. He promptly stole second base, but was stranded when Puig, Gonzalez, and Ramirez were retired in the Dodger first. And that's off the plate, ball 2. Pitch at the knees. 2 balls and a strike.
Fastball's good so far. His curveball's good so far. 1 mistake with the changeup. There's a good changeup.
Doubled up, but missed. Full count. D. Gordon, 5'11", 172 pounds. 4th round pick back in 2008. And slashed into the seats, foul. And a ground ball sneaks through the right side. It's a 1-out single.
Pretty good at bat, huh? Story goes that he came to camp without a job, had to win the job at second base. They had some other candidates, but he worked really hard in the offseason to improve all aspects of his game, cut down on his swing, try and put it in play, and especially cut down on his strikeouts. And it has really paid off for him and the team.
Because he's been on base so much, that's certainly helped Yasiel Puig. Second in average to Troy Tulowitzki in the National League with a .317 mark. He flat out to right his first time up.
Yeah, it's no surprise he has 54 RBIs, and Gonzalez behind him has 70.
Gaddis couldn't find it for a moment, but no advance by D. Gordon. Gordon and Puig, the top run scorers for the Dodgers, each have been plated 59 times. Ball 2. Puig's not just a big giant free swinger up there. He will take a walk. He leads the Dodger team in that category. He's walked 46 times. And with 116 hits, his on-base percentage is stratospheric at .402. Runner goes. The pitch outside. The throw to second is not in time. Tommy La Stella with a long look in at the Braves dugout. I thought they got him.
I thought they did too. Good throw by Evan. Infielders are going to come in and kind of stall a little bit, talking to Alex Wood here. Got a good jump, better than the last one. Just a matter of, did the tag get the shoulder before the hand got there? Yeah, I got the helmet. They got the helmet first. Couldn't really see it from that angle, but from center field you could see it brush the helmet first.
So Freddie Gonzalez will challenge the call made by Jerry Lane at second base. The initial call was safe. There has to be clear and convincing evidence to overturn the decision at second base. This one should be overturned. Crowds oohing and eyeing as they see the replay on Dodger Vision.
Right here. See the glove move across the helmet? That was clear and convincing from center field. Umpires are watching the big screen too, but what they don't see is this angle.
And the call is overturned. La Stella actually tagged him twice. So the Braves successfully used the appeal. They'll have another if they need it. And a fast man thrown out at second base by Evan Gaddis.
Yeah, that's significant. With him out there in the heart of their order coming up.
And Puig draws a base on balls. So Puig's at first with 2 outs. And Adrian Gonzalez, the batter, he struck out swinging his lone time up there. Ball exploded down and away from Adrian, and he couldn't stop himself. Fly foul out of play. Strike 1.
Gonzalez upset with himself that he missed that one.
Lefties have given him trouble all year. He's in the 170s with his batting average.
You know, we mentioned that trade, that 9-player trade between the Red Sox and the Dodgers. The Red Sox basically, I mean, they blew their team up. And when you think of Carl Crawford, Beckett, and Adrian Gonzalez alone, those 3 guys and their payroll, what that saved the Red Sox in payroll is monumental.
James Loney, Ivan DeJesus, Alan Webster, Ruby De La Rosa, and Jerry Sands went to Boston in a deal that took place in late August.
Is that right?
Yeah, that was August 25th of 2012. That was after the non-waiver trade deadline. And I'm sure because of the high salaries of all of those players, the Red Sox exposed them. Nobody else took them. The Dodgers did, and that's the way the deal was done.
Huge contracts.
And a swing and a miss. Alex Wood has had command of Adrian Gonzalez with the breaking ball tonight. 5 strikeouts for Alex Wood, and an overturned call at second base took care of D. Gordon and the Dodgers. 1-1 game. At Dodger Stadium, Braves won, Dodgers won. Here in the fourth, Freddie Freeman, Justin Upton, and Evan Gattis go to work. Big night for Freddie here last night.
2 for 4 with a homer. Breaking ball from Josh Beckett. Lofted into the right center field bleachers, and at the time it gave the Braves a 3-2 lead.
Let's take a look at our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Freddie has enjoyed hitting everywhere. 10 home runs on the road, 15 in total for Freddie, who takes a strike. Mentioned earlier about the Giants and Dan Uggla. Well, now Ken Rosenthal is saying the Giants haven't released Dan Uggla. So that rumor mill continues to percolate. Giants make their way back from their game in Pittsburgh, or against Pittsburgh today, at home I should say. 7-5 they beat them at AT&T Park. 1-1 pitch for Freddie, and rolled foul.
While he's up there, a note from Freddie. He was wanting us to help out a little bit on a charity that he's involved in that originated with Adam Wainwright and has to do with fantasy football players and leagues. If you're interested, you can go to bigleagueimpact.org, and all the entry fees go to charity. There's that website, and there's links to how you can join. And the draft is actually coming up August 15th at the 755 Club. And your entry fee not only gets you in a league competing against Freddie and Craig Kimbrell and John Smoltz and some others, but it also entitles you to be down on the field around the cage for batting practice and a tour of the clubhouse and some other special inside stuff. So it's a pretty good deal. I mean, it's a really good deal from a charity standpoint. Freddie's charities that benefit are the Atlanta Food Bank and then also the Salvation Army. So a worthwhile cause if you like fantasy football. bigleagueimpact.org.
A shot towards second. Gordon's got that one cleanly. There's out number one. Tom, you have more?
Well, there is nothing to add, just add on what Joe was saying. There is nothing that these guys like more this time of year than fantasy football. Numerous players have already gone through mock drafts for their various leagues. So just like a lot of guys at home that are getting ready for their fantasy leagues, so are a lot of these Atlanta Braves. And gosh, if you had a chance to be in a league with Adam Wainwright and Freddie Freeman, and you could talk junk to John Smoltz about his hairline at the same time, that sounds like a win-win.
Yeah, I know it's right down your alley.
Base is empty for Justin Upton, who takes a strike. It's 0-1. Upton bounced out to third to start the second inning for the Braves. We're in the fourth. 1-1 your score. Good cut, fouled back to the screen by Justin. A ball and 2 strikes.
See, this guy lures you to sleep a little bit. He threw LaStella last inning. He threw him a 71-mile-an-hour slow curve and got him to pop up on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and on his hands. He has a very almost slow wind-up, very deliberate, and then he kind of explodes at you toward the plate. He doesn't always max out on his fastball, but he can.
That ball's hammered down the left field line and fair. It'll one hop into the seats. That is a rule book double for Justin Upton, his 25th two-base hit of the year. And Greinke will go to the stretch for the first time since the second inning with 1 out in the Braves' fourth.
Looked like another breaking. Oh, it's a changeup. Gaddis hit a breaking ball, and a changeup here rattled into the seats on 1 hop. Justin continues his good numbers against Greinke.
Evan doubled and scored in the second for the Braves. Simmons brought him home with an infield hit. And back to the screen. Good cut.
Good swing.
He struck out 4.
And doing a good job there, as you saw, getting ahead in the count.
Popped up. Gonzalez long run, foul ground. He won't have a play. And Gaddis now with a 0-2 pitch coming. .46 pitches for Greinke so far, only 9 out of the strike zone. Gaddis down the left field line. Will he keep that one fair? He can't. He missed a double by inches.
Well, that was a real shame. Looked like a hanging breaking ball. Again, we were talking about mistakes, and Evan waited on it, but even as long as he waited, he still couldn't keep it fair. That slow lollipop curve, and he ripped it. Look at Greinke already kind of wishing it foul.
That's headed for the upper deck, opposite way for Gaddis. And he awaits another 0-2 pitch.
When Greinke was with Kansas City, he actually spent a stint on the disabled list with a social anxiety problem and worked through that. Still, you know, he's a different cat by comparison to so many outgoing, gregarious major league players. He does not seek the limelight, does not like, you know, being in the middle of all the action in the clubhouse, that sort of thing. But the guy can pitch. 118 wins, 88 losses in the big leagues.
And he got Gaddis to chase the ball across the shoe tops. And Gaddis is retired on strikes. That's 5 for Greinke, 2 outs.
See what this was. That was another changeup, but he put it in a great spot. Evans trying to guard both sides of the plate. I don't know what that means. So maybe he was pleased with his changeup.
Chris Johnson bounced out his first time up. Justin Upton at second, 2 outs now in a tie game. And a ground ball again to third. To his left, Uribe. The toss across in plenty of time. Atlanta can't cash in Upton's 1-out double. We head to the home fourth, still tied at 1. Los Angeles, we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. We're all season long. Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Good ball game in game 2. Wood and Greinke locking horns. We're even at 1 apiece.
And that is some busy video there, wasn't it?
You bet. And we hope the turnstiles will be busy on August 13th for Evan Gaddis bobblehead night. Don't miss out. Get your tickets for the ball game presented by Grady Hospital. The first 20,000 fans will take home this one-of-a-kind souvenir. Get your tickets today for Evan Gaddis bobblehead night at Braves.com. Ramirez, Kemp, and Van Slyke versus Wood here in the Dodger fourth. And a strike. That's too far inside, even count.
Gaddis, when he moved inside here, Hunter Wendelstedt went with him and almost disappeared from view. Good thing that pitch was way down and in, no doubter.
That caught a corner inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's going to great lengths to try to stay on the catcher's inside shoulder between the catcher and the hitter. He's had a good hook tonight.
Let's see what he has in mind with this full count pitch. Ramirez spoiled it and fouled it to the right side. And Alex lost him. A leadoff walk starts the Dodger fourth. Second pass issued by Alex in the game. And that'll bring up Matt Kemp, who tied it with his first at bat tonight. And it was a no-doubter, a 419-foot bomb to left center field.
And a high changeup, didn't miss it.
I love what you said. Get him while he's hot. 3 homers in his last 5 plate appearances after hitting 3 in his previous 250. And that chased him in the right-hand batter's box. Ball 1.
Davey Lopes talking about Matt Kemp today and some of the times that Kemp has gone through that was where he was rather disgruntled about playing time, where he was playing. He said, I kept trying to tell him, just play. What difference does it make if you're in left, center, or right? Just play. And if you're not happy, if you think people here don't like him, then make them like you. Do something to make them like you.
Nothing but love the last 2 nights for him. As that one caught a corner inside. 2 balls and a strike.
Another good hook. What a great spot on our Fox tracks. Beauty.
He laid off and now is in the driver's seat. 3 balls and a strike.
Good pitch though. 2-1 changeup. Not only is he swinging the bat well, he's laying off pitchers' pitches.
There's the hook again.
Little knuckle curve.
Toward third, Chris Johnson's got it. Estella for one. The throw to first, off the end of the glove of Freeman. Kemp might have beaten the wrap anyway. So Ramirez forced at second. Kemp's on first base after the force out, and Scott Van Slyke will hit with one on and one out.
For the Dodgers, left fielder, number 33, Scott Van Slyke.
Tommy was in a position to take that throw more to the left field side of the bag, and the throw came trying to lead him into the throw correctly to the first base side of the bag, and Tommy was a little off balance making the throw.
Van Slyke popped out his first time up. He's hit 9 homers this year. Of all of the Dodger outfielders, this is the guy that no one talks about, yet he's been exceptionally productive in limited playing time.
You would think there would be some teams that have enjoyed and liked and appreciated what he's been doing.
Van Slyke's averaging a home run almost every 16 at bats, slightly more quickly than that. That home run per at bat ratio is the 6th best in the National League among players who've had 100 or more at bats this year. He had a double off the bench last night. And now 3 balls, no strikes. That's at the knees. 3-1. Little number. Wood's got to hurry. He fired a fastball to first, and Freeman, with that big 6'5" wingspan, snared that toss from the Braves pitcher. Kemp to second, 2 out.
I swear Freddie's going to be he may still be 6'5", but his arms are going to be so stretched out that he's going to look like he's 7'5". Once in a while you'd think he'd get a good throw. Thank heavens he's as big as he is and as long armed as he is, because he is sure saving some wild ones. That one may have hurt.
Runner at second, 2 outs. Uribe the batter. He popped out to Freeman in the Dodgers second. That's bounced foul, and Wood ahead quickly. No balls, 2 strikes. Uribe's riding a 3-game hit streak. 5 hits in his last 12 at bats. Pair of doubles last night.
In keeping with the rest of his teammates, he's gotten hot. 12 out of his last 14 games.
But not this time. Boy, Alex Wood's breaking ball is as good as we've seen it all year long. Los Angeles strands another man in scoring position, and that sends our game to the 5th inning. We're tied 1 apiece. One ball game. Braves and Dodgers in game 2 of our 3-game set. Let's check out our Home Depot tools from the dugout.
Run support. Alex Wood, 5th worst in the National League. Zach Greinke getting a run and a half more than Alex Wood per start. 16th best in the National League. That run and a half makes a big difference.
Well, Simmons is the man that brought home Gaddis with an infield hit in the 2nd. That gave the Braves a 1-0 lead. Kemp tied it with a solo homer in the Dodgers' 2nd. And strike 1. Simmons now with a 4-game hit streak. He's 4 for 11 in that stretch. To short. Ramirez takes a peek at the baseball and throws a strike and got Simmons for out number 1. Seven ground ball outs for Greinke to go along with 5 strikeouts tonight.
That will win games. Keeping the ball on the ground and striking out those you need to. Maybe that's why he's 12-6.
After a 15-4 year last year, a year that might have seen Greinke have a shot at 20 victories, but remember he had that big fight with Carlos Quentin of the Padres. In that fracas, Greinke broke his collarbone and missed a month. How about that pitch range? 69 to 95.
Gotta like it, especially when he's throwing it for strikes. Even that slow curve that he made a mistake or two on last inning. Got away with it.
And he struck out Schaefer for a 2nd time tonight. 2 up, 2 down for Alex Wood.
That appeared to be a 2-seamer.
Pitch number 40, Alex Wood.
Nope. Change up. Look at that thing die down and away from Jordan. Only 10 out of the zone so far. Josh Beckett, are you watching in the clubhouse?
And I'll bet of the 10, 6 of them were close enough to maybe be called strikes. Quickly 0-2. That caught a corner, and that's 7 strikeouts for Zach Greinke. He's due 2nd in the 5th inning. Tight ball game in Los Angeles. Great duel. Wood and Greinke. 1-1 your score.
AT&T U-verse, Delta Airlines, and Ford.
1-1's our score. We head to the bottom of the fifth inning with Joe Simpson and Tom Hart. Chip Carey with you from Dodger Stadium. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Braves.com for details. This is such a beautiful ballpark, a great place to visit. And, Joe, I'm sure it was a wonderful place for you to play as a former Dodger. This must bring back a flood of memories every time you and the Braves come back to Dodger Stadium.
It certainly does. The first time you walk in that dugout at night with the lights on and you realize that you've been playing in the dark in the minor leagues. The lights are so awesome in this ballpark. It brings everything to life. And that's the view from center field, with that tower right above the upper deck, and there are so many levels to this stadium. Pretty impressive.
And it looks as new as it did when it opened.
Absolutely, as clean and as pristine. All those layers, though, all those levels of the decks, took a while to get used to that.
A.J. Ellis, the batter. And he takes strike, as with any older ballpark. And Dodger Stadium, I think, is the third oldest one in the major leagues now. There are constant renovations and upgrades and improvements for the fans, certainly, but for the players, too. A shot to right field starts the Dodger fifth inning, and Greinke will have a chance to move his catcher along. The visitors have a new clubhouse. Used to go up a flight of stairs under, I guess, what you'd call the first grandstand.
Yeah.
Well, now the training room, the video room, the workout room, the locker room, and the lunchroom are all on one level. That's new for 2014.
Yeah, it's more or less straight back behind the dugout and then runs down toward the right field pole. Really nice addition. And it was the first ballpark built with the cantilever construction, without any poles to hold up the levels of various decks. Greinke's only got a couple of sacrifices and 40 at bats. The way these two guys are pitching right now, though, whoever gets the lead's got a huge advantage, even if it's just one run.
After Greinke hits, the top of the Dodger order's coming up. The Braves will have their 1, 2, and 3 hitters in the 6th. And there's the bunt. And it's a good one. Freeman will fire to La Stella, covering at first. Greinke does lay down his third sacrifice. And Ellis in scoring position for D. Gordon, and 1 out.
That was really well done. He didn't have a lot of room to work with.
Number 9, D. Gordon.
Really crouched down low, and again just caught the baseball with the bat.
So in tight games, little things mean a lot. Greinke helps himself. Now it's up to Gordon and Puig.
You were talking about this guy last night, though, Chip, and his numbers with runners in scoring position pretty good.
333. I liked what you said about him last night. They've finally gotten him to figure out how to put the ball on the ground consistently. And use his speed. He's got a ton of infield hits. This Dodger team has a ton of infield hits. They put pressure on you in every possible way. Catcher at second base. Simmons tries to keep Ellis close with an even count. And that one well off the plate. Good stop by Gaddis. That saved a base. 2-1.
Still think in this situation with Puig and Gonzalez coming up behind him that you've got to make good pitches here to D. Gordon, even though you got a base open. Make him swing the bat and hope he hits it at someone. And then with 2 outs, you've got some options.
Two balls and a strike. He does bounce it up the middle. Estella knocked it down, kept it on the infield, and that saved a run. So it's an infield hit for Gordon. Ellis stops at third. And now you've got to really do some pondering.
These are the kind of hits, though, that really plagued Alex Wood in that last start against San Diego. Most of them were like right over the bag or right near the bag where they got through and into the outfield. Nice play here by Tommy to save a run. That gets through. Ellis scores.
So to take a line from Tom Glavine, you have a base open. It happens to be second base. Do you face Puig here, or do you pitch around him and go after Gonzalez, who has had no luck against Wood tonight?
And has really struggled with that breaking ball of Alex's. And this guy wears out the Atlanta Braves. 20 for 38, counting the postseason last year.
I like these throws to first. You can see how frustrated Puig is. He wants to get on with the show here. Alex is making him wait.
Well, that'd be a great out if you could pick up a pick off. If Gordon happens to run and take that open base away down at second. Puig has not hit into many double plays, just 5. For that reason, and because he's tough to double up, I'd be very surprised if they sent Gordon or if they gave him a green light to go. Yasiel stands well off the plate. We saw last night how he likes to drive the ball to right center field. He likes the ball away from him where he can get those big arms extended.
So one way outside, one way inside. 2 balls, no strikes. I told you earlier, Puig's not exactly a free swinger up there. He swings hard, but he's got a good eye. He will take a walk if you give it to him. High fly ball slicing down the right field line, and no play. It's a 2-1 count now.
Change up. Talked about his need for a good changeup tonight. Here's one, but he got away with another bad changeup there because Puig was thinking about right center field, kind of jammed himself. Otherwise, that's in the danger zone. Throw over again. Puig was trying to stall before he got in the box to make Alex wait. Throw to first again and see if you can frustrate him some more.
Breaking ball popped up, and LaStella should catch this one. He's got it, and no advance. Puig pops up with runners at the corners, and now Gonzalez the hitter with 2 out.
Think he was frustrated.
He didn't run again either.
Why would you if you don't have to?
So here's Gonzalez First and third, 2 outs. Adrian has struck out twice. Hunter Wendelstedt wants to break up the meeting between Simmons, LaStella, Wood, and Gaddis.
Because he's had trouble with that curveball, you know that Adrian Gonzalez, who's a tough out, doesn't want to find himself trying to protect the plate again 0-2. He's going to be very aggressive early in the count here, this AB, to try to get that go-ahead run in.
Ball one inside. Hanley Ramirez is next for the Dodgers. We're in the 5th inning. Alex Wood and Zach Greinke pitching beautiful ball. Just 7 combined hits so far. Ground ball to second. Tommy's there, and what a job by Alex Wood to pitch out of that jam.
Beautiful.
First and third with Puig and Gonzalez coming up, and Los Angeles cannot break through. Top of the order for Atlanta, still tied at 1. Tonight's 3-hour and 45-minute extravaganza. This one, a gem. We head to the 6th inning, still tied at 1. And now it's time, fans, for you to tweet your photo using hashtag SouthFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T.
Great to see people back at the ballpark at Dodger Stadium, isn't it?
Man, good point.
There was a stretch there where people were fearful of coming to the ballpark. 49,000 last night, probably a similar crowd tonight.
I don't know the answer to this. I'm going to have to look it up. But how many years have they drawn 3 million fans here?
This many?
You know what?
A whole bunch.
B.J. Upton leads off and lines one down the right field line. That'll slice foul, strike 1. Here we go. Top 60 National League attendance marks. The Dodgers have 8 of the top 20 attendance records in baseball. The most fans they've ever drawn is 3.857 million fans in 2007.
See, that's what the new owners saw too. They knew what this franchise was. They knew what a huge crown it is in baseball in terms of the people who have always been loyal to the Dodgers. And it was kind of the previous owners, I don't know how to put it, but it's almost like they used the Dodger logo, the fact that they could go around telling everybody they own the Dodgers, to their own benefit and not to the benefit of the organization. They almost killed it. But these new guys, they know.
Swing and a miss by Upton. He's down on strikes. That's how the Atlanta 6th starts. 8 strikeouts for Greinke tonight. Well, last year, Joe, they drew 3.743 million fans. We saw Magic Johnson, one of the minority owners of this ball club, sitting right behind Tommy Lasorda. He's here quite a lot. Yesterday was a huge day in Los Angeles. New head coach for the Lakers, Magic Johnson, was there, and then he made his way across town to come see the Dodgers play the Braves last night, on a night that Vin Scully announced he'll be back for a 66th season next year.
Well, when the price was revealed for what the team was purchased for, there's the Hall of Famer. A lot of people were like, did they say billion?
Right. Yeah.
But that's what this thing is worth. Their TV rights. They've got to get their
distribution settled.
Yes, they've got to get that squared away with the cable outlets. But there is so much potential in the modern day game for what they could do here.
Remember last year when we were here, there were plans, or supposedly plans, about making kind of a Dodger Town complex out in the parking lot here. I want to say like Newbury Street or Lansdowne Street, I beg your pardon, in Boston, with a Wrigleyville area, but shops and restaurants and things for people to do once they got to the ballpark besides wander the concourses.
Great idea.
That might still be in play.
There's even talk about building another stadium here in the parking lot and trying to attract an NFL franchise from either expansion or somebody to move here, since LA's been without the NFL for a long time.
Pop fly foul back toward us. First 3-ball count for Greinke, by the way, and guess who's earned it? Tommy La Stella. But I love the excitement of this crowd here. They love their Dodgers. They love their team. You know, the old joke, late arriving, early leavers. But they do come out. And they're having another record-setting attendance year this year. Tommy fought it off.
And that attendance, it goes only so far. I mean, you got to have the revenue streams from all the other sources for especially television these days. But the organization headed up by the president, Stan Kasten, who knew how to get things done in Atlanta, knows that if he put a good product on the field, they will come.
Line drive to left by Tommy La Stella. We might have a new hitting fool.
Yes, we might.
4th hit of the series for Tommy. He's aboard in front of Freddie Freeman.
Just a great at bat. Change up, thought he would get him 3-2. Made sure he threw it for a strike, but Tommy didn't try to roll over it by pulling it. Good piece of hitting going the other way with a changeup.
Freddie looks for his first base hit of the game. And takes a strike. Dodgers start play tonight. 2.5 games ahead of the Giants. We told you the Giants beat Pittsburgh 7-5 today. That snaps the Giants' 6-game losing streak. Dodgers have their first 4-game win streak working entering tonight's play. LA at 60-47. Only 2 teams have more wins than the Dodgers. That's the Oakland A's and the Angels, who have 63 and are 2.5 games off the pace in the AL West. One ball, 2 strikes on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Freddie was a little late on it, but it was up, and upset that he missed it. Greinke He has given up 13 home runs coming into play tonight. That was one about every 10 innings.
Didn't get a corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Only time the Braves tonight have had more than 1 base runner on in an inning, they scored a run. That was back in the 2nd.
And Freeman didn't get it. 9 strikeouts for Greinke tonight.
Outside target. I don't know, that was either a cutter or just a real short slider. Tried to backdoor it, and Freddie went after it. Not sure it was a strike.
Well, how about a gapper again for Justin Upton? He doubled to left. The ball bounced into the stands at the foul pole. So he's 1 for 2.
Lots of first pitch strikes. He has put the Braves on the defensive since the get-go tonight.
(19 of 22) first pitch strikes. There's the gapper. Listella around second. He's on his way to third. Ball bobbled by Puig, and Upton will take advantage. He'll slide in safely at second. And the Braves are in business with 2 outs, and Evan Gattis coming up.
Justin Upton needs to share with everybody what he knows about this guy. Slider. Must have been looking for it. Not fooled at all. Right on it. It'll be a hit and an error.
Here's a surprising number on you. It's only Puig's 2nd error. This is his 98th game.
And that was only because he rushed right there, thinking he might have a shot at Tommy Listella.
There's a strike. Greinke does have impeccable command. He does, however, lead the Dodgers staff with 8 wild pitches. And with all that foul ground behind A.J. Ellis, if one squirts away from the catcher, Listella's got to be on his toes and be ready to sprint home.
That's kind of surprising because he doesn't really throw a pitch that dives like a split. I can see perhaps on his breaking ball, bouncing one once in a while.
And that pitch might be in play here with 2 strikes, and maybe that's what Ellis wants to talk about. Upton singled, took second on an error. Listella's at third after he had a hit with 1 out. And now the 0-2 is way up and out of the zone, and Gattis couldn't lay off. 10 strikeouts for Zach Greinke. Back-to-back double-digit strikeout games for the Dodger right-hander. 1-1's your score.
not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
9 o'clock in Los Angeles, midnight back in most of Braves country, where we see a 1-1 game heading to the bottom of our 6th inning. It's July the 30th. Want to wish a very happy 80th birthday to the commissioner of Major League Baseball, Bud Selig. Might be watching the game tonight back in New York. You know, the commissioner likes well-pitched, well-played games. He's got one on his hands tonight here at Dodger Stadium.
Alex Wood's got to hold him right there. Get his offense back up there and hope somebody can figure out. Zach Greinke had a chance there, and he made a good pitch going upstairs on Gaddis to get him to chase.
Ramirez, Kemp, and Van Slyke are coming up for the Dodgers. Fly ball to right. That'll chase Schaefer back a few steps, but Jordan's got plenty of room, and Hanley Ramirez is 0 for 2. Here's Kemp.
Right fielder number 27, Matt Kemp.
Kemp led off the second with a homer. He's also bounced into the force play. Matt still should be in the prime of his big league career. He'll turn 30 in September. As we mentioned, a couple of injury-plagued years back-to-back. Left ankle and left shoulder surgeries. Ended his 2000 season prematurely. And he's signed by Los Angeles through the 2019 season. They really need him to come back and be the Matt Kemp that nearly won the MVP award just a couple of short years ago in 2011.
He was on the disabled list. We talked about his hamstring and his ankle. We didn't mention the left shoulder problem that he had last year. He was on the DL during the All-Star break and beyond for left AC joint inflammation. Sometimes that is hard to recover from. Maybe I should say hard to heal and get back to 100%. So kind of wonder if some of those injuries were just taking a toll on him, and he's just now getting back to where he feels close to 100%.
And as a right-hand hitter, if your left shoulder's hurting, that's a big problem, isn't it?
Sure is.
But he's had no problems hitting Alex Wood tonight. That's his second hit. And Kemp with a big turnaround first will scramble back. He draws a throw and is in safely with a one-out single.
Batting next, left fielder number 33, Scott Van Slyke.
Change up. Upstairs from where it should have been located, even in the dirt. He's just leaving it up, and he's not getting any sinking action away from right-handers with it. It's just kind of holding its plane. Maybe he's throwing it too hard.
Scott Van Slyke swings the first pitch and drives it towards center. BJ's got that. And back to first goes Kemp with 2 outs. That name's familiar. It should be. Scott's dad was and is Andy Van Slyke. Played for so many years in the big leagues.
A lot bigger than his dad.
So a couple of flyouts for Alex here in the 6th inning. He's pitching a great game tonight. Now he's got to get Uribe, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. 0-1. That ball served to the right side. La Stella knocked it down. Heading toward third, Kemp. The throw is knocked down by Chris Johnson. And Kemp never stopped running. Tommy La Stella knocked it down. The ball dropped at his feet. And by the time he recovered, Kemp was sliding in safely at third.
Good throw gets him, though. Tommy just didn't get anything at all on the throw after he got to his feet. Kind of threw it flat-footed. And Chris Johnson did the right thing to come out and smother the ball and keep it from getting by him. Good hustle by Tommy to get to it. And Kemp just assumed it was going to get through.
So now Gaddis has to block anything in the dirt. Got A.J. Ellis, the catcher, in the batter's box. That floated in for a called strike.
Well, he did some great pitching last inning, pitching out of a first and third jam. And while Ellis got that base hit, it snapped an 0 for 13 he was in.
The Dodgers had chances with runners on base tonight. They are a combined 2 for 12.
And you got the pitcher on deck. Don't forget that.
There's that breaking ball. One ball, 2 strikes. And Wood pitch out of a jam for the second straight inning. Kemp at third, Uribe at first. Way high, 2-2.
He's doing the right thing here. Even at the risk of walking him, is trying to make sure that he doesn't give him anything to hit down the middle of the plate. If he swings at something off the plate that's a ball, that's what Alex wants.
And that's what he got. Ellis swings and misses. And Alex Wood strands 2 more Dodgers. They've left 7 through 6. And we go to inning number 7. Still a 1-1 score. As we promised you earlier tonight, we have our AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to #SouthFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by our friends at AT&T.
A couple of nicely dressed fans in their Braves gear. How about matching pitch for pitch with a former Cy Young Award winner? The walks didn't hurt him. 7 strikeouts for Alex, and a key one right there to end the 6th on an excellent changeup. Maybe the best one he's thrown tonight.
Alex is due 4th in the 7th. The frame starts with Chris Johnson leading things off. Back-to-back 10 strikeout games for Zach Greinke. He hasn't gotten Chris to strike out, but he has gotten 2 ground ball outs to third. Ellis to his right makes a nice stop. A ball and 2 strikes. Action's begun in the Braves bullpen. Wood, I believe, over 100 pitches tonight. Greinke, as you see, at 83. It's Jordan Walden up first. Fly ball foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chris chased one down and in, and he is struck out. That's 11 for Greinke tonight. Last 6 outs have been via strikeout.
This is a pitch that he threw Gaddis earlier tonight when he was in a tough spot. Changeup down and in. Got some good movement on it. Nothing Chris could do but go over the top of it.
Screen to strike for Brave shortstop Andrelton Simmons. Only one other game still in progress in the big leagues. That's down the road in San Diego, where the Padres are ambushing the Cardinals again. It's 4-0 San Diego. That game's in the 6th. We face the Padres next. Oh, 2.
Again, it seems like when he needs a little extra, he can reach back and get it.
Uribe to his left. Nice play. Perfect throw. He's always been a good defensive third baseman. That was an outstanding play to take away a hit for Andrelton Simmons.
He made a boot last night on a ball to his left, but he wasn't going to let that happen again. Nice range and quick to get into his throwing position to get Simmons. Well done.
So that hurts. 2 outs. Jordan Schaefer is the batter. He has struck out twice.
He's been successful against Jordan tonight, running the ball away from him. As he did that last pitch, looked like a 2-seamer running away from him to get him to try and expand his zone. Chase trying to pull
Schaefer with a bunt try, but he tapped it back to the mound. Greinke fielded that cleanly. It's been a long time since Greinke's made a bad play, and he made a good one there. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the 7th inning stretch. Moment. Alex Wood is matching a former Cy Young Award winner pitch for pitch, out for out tonight. And he's pitched out of some jams in a 1-1 game.
He's made those key pitches that you got to make to get out of those spots, and he's done it to the middle of their order. Puig there, Gonzalez here to end the inning, and last inning with the bottom of the order up. Boy, he made a great pitch. This is his best changeup of the night to A.J. Ellis. He got some sink on that. Put it in a good spot, dying down and away. Still in a 1-1 ball game.
Is there anything better in baseball than a well-pitched game by both pitchers? I mean, this has been a joy to watch in comparison to last night's 345, 346.
It was just awful. The outcome, the 105 pitches by their starting pitcher through 4 innings, 4+ innings. Brutal.
And I tip my cap to Hunter Wendelstedt tonight. I mean, he's had a very fair, reasonable strike zone tonight. As Greinke goes to work for the Dodgers and looks outside at ball 2. Greinke, Gordon, and Puig for Los Angeles. Back where it came from, and Wood speared that. What a play. And then he almost handcuffed Freddie Freeman with a peg to first. 1 out.
Lob, he may have thrown it up in the lights. Nice reactions, though. Well, that's a base hit. Promise, Freddie, somebody's going to make a good throw to you one of these days.
Atlanta pitches in at the corners for Gordon, who's got 2 hits. He's 2 for 3 at the plate and 1 for 2 on the base paths. He's got 1 steal and 2 tries. And he tries a bunt, and that's foul. Over the Dodger dugout foul. It's a ball and 2 strikes. David Carpenter has begun to warm in the Braves bullpen. Alex Wood's spot is due first in the 8th inning. See the pitch count. This will likely be Alex's final frame of the night.
There was another good changeup. It's gotten better as the night's worn on.
And Gordon chased a ball in on his hands. Wood struck him out. 2 up, 2 down. Alex has 8 in the game.
Center fielder number 66, Yasiel Puig.
And here's Yasiel Puig. Puig had a great chance to put the Dodgers in front in the 5th inning. Runners first and third. He popped out to La Stella. Off the end of the bat, foul for a strike. Did Puig break his bat? I think so.
Change up. That was up, but a foot off the plate. And again, Alex took a long time before delivering that pitch, and I think Puig gets very impatient and ready to just hack at whatever he's going to throw.
Beautiful breaking ball, and Puig, in disbelief, is behind 0-2.
He hasn't used his breaking ball as much in the second half of the game. He's gone to the changeup more, but he breaks out the curveball again, and it's a beaut.
Little roller back to the mound. Wood anticipated that perfectly. And there's that good throw to first to retire the side. 7 magnificent innings in Los Angeles for Alex Wood tonight. Enter now for a chance to win round-trip airfare anywhere Delta flies in the continental U.S., 2-night hotel accommodations, and $250 spending cash. Enter on your mobile devices or computer at foxsports.com/south/Delta. Good luck. Night is done for Alex Wood. For another big crowd at Dodger Stadium, Alex went 7 innings, 6 hits, a run, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. And he'll be taken down for pinch hitter Phil Gosselin.
Braves have not had their leadoff man on all night. This would be a good time to start.
Those are Phil's numbers this year with the Braves. He's 1 for 6.
In fact, AC tells me that the Braves have not had their leadoff man on base since the 5th inning of last night's game.
One ball, one strike.
What you've got to admire and like about Zach Greinke is that he can throw 95, but he doesn't until he wants to. He pitches, and he pitches around 92 or 93 or 72 with a curveball, and then back to 95.
So if you're looking for a poster child for not throwing with maximum effort on every pitch, Exhibit A might be Zach Greinke.
Yeah, this is the guy. He's got it. He just uses it when he needs it.
And he got Gosselin to swing and miss. That's his 12th strikeout. 15 is his career high.
Slider. He's got 12 strikeouts, 6 on his fastball, 3 on his changeup, and now 3 on his slider.
And 12 is a season high in strikeouts for Greinke. And BJ Upton, the batter. He's gotten BJ 3 times.
Hat trick. They have stayed primarily with hard stuff to BJ. A.J. Ellis looks like he wants him to go upstairs. No, I misread whatever he was doing with his thumb. I thought he was trying to point up, like go upstairs like they did on Gaddis.
The 1-2. That one was upstairs, but too high.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's what he was trying to do there. I think that just got away from him. They were just trying to go fastball away and missed up. Going to try it again.
Uncharacteristically, 2 bad misses in a row for Greinke.
Yeah.
101 pitches, only 22 balls. Amazing. Strike 3 call. BJ's got the strikeout bug. He has whiffed in 7 of his last 8 plate appearances.
Second baseman, number 7, Tommy Listella.
Add another slider strikeout to the list. (13 strikeouts 4 times. The old golden sombrero for BJ.
Tommy Listella was the first Brave to force a 3-ball count from Greinke. And Tommy was rewarded in that 6th inning sequence with his lone hit tonight. Wow, how about this stat? Braves have had 6 plate appearances of 7 pitches or more in the series. Tommy La Stella has 3 of them alone. Ellis and Greinke wanted that one, didn't get it. 1-2 pitch coming.
Take a look at it on Fox Tracks. Trying to throw that backdoor slider. Nope. Got a little help from Ellis, but not enough.
That one about 2 feet in front of the plate.
It's been a little wild this inning after he gets ahead in the count. And wow, that was spiked. But it seems to be with the 2-seamer, like he's trying to make a good pitch with the 2-seamer to make it come back, and he is missed badly.
And here's La Stella again, another full count.
He just doesn't fish. You can't get him to chase when you get ahead in the count.
And La Stella walks. Marvelous at bat for the Braves rookie second baseman. And that'll bring Freddie Freeman to the plate with 2 outs.
First walk of the night. But a bad walk to put a guy on in front of Freddie. La Stella's not a blazer. He doesn't have great foot speed. He's stolen a couple of bases, but he's not a guy that is an automatic on a double to score from first here, even with 2 out. They have good arms in the outfield. Puig, you know how outstanding his arm is. Kemp's very strong in right. Van Slyke's pretty good in left. That was Brandon Lee getting up. He worked last night.
Didn't get a corner at the knees. 1 ball, no strikes.
Freddie chased a bad ball his last time up, but he was also late on a fastball earlier in the count that he wanted another crack at. See if he can catch up with a fastball this at bat.
Line to Ramirez at short. That was headed for the gap, but Hanley Ramirez to his left robbed Freddie Freeman and ends the Braves 8. Gonzalez, Ramirez, and Kemp coming up for Los Angeles, still tied 1 apiece. 4 and 5 coming up for Los Angeles. And time to answer our AT&T U-verse trivia question tonight. Who holds the Dodgers all-time record for most homers in a single season?
Again, I ought to know this, and I don't. I want to guess Frank Howard, but I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to go Frank Howard.
I'll say Duke Snyder. See if either one of us is right. Oh, we always forget about Sean Green. That's right. Would you write that down in your book for next year? That's.
I forget that he even played here.
Right?
Didn't he hit 4 homers in a game in Milwaukee once also? Man.
49 of them, Sean Green. Rats. Here's Jordan Walden on for the 38th time. Tough inning for him. Big boppers up for the Dodgers.
Jordan last worked 4 days ago against San Diego. A perfect inning. Jordan's ERA since June 14th, 0.49. 1 run in 18 innings.
A letter high strike as Gonzalez behind. Little bloop down the third base line, but that'll bounce at the base of the wall. And Gonzalez back to the plate, still alive 0-2.
This is one of those situations for Gonzalez where he doesn't care who came in. Just get Alex Wood out of here. Alex ate him up tonight.
And Gonzalez had come in, arguably the hottest Dodger hitter. But 2 strikeouts and a ground out to second. Has him in an 0-4-3 hole tonight. And that one yanked foul at first. He hit that ball before it hit him.
And Freddie guarding the line right there to glove it had it been fair. Boy, look how he pulled his hands in on that. Amazing.
One ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Good start for Walden in the 8th inning. 9 Dodgers have been struck out tonight. Gonzalez has whipped 3 of those times.
Great pitch. Great location to a guy who's looking for something to pull and yank out of here. Took a little off. Beautiful. That's what makes him effective against left-handed pitchers. Is that equalizer of a changeup.
Now a couple of righties stare him down. Andy Ramirez 0 for 2 with a walk. Ramirez lifetime 1 for 3 against Jordan Walden.
98 on that last pitch from Mr. Walden, who's had a few days rest.
Up and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jordan, of course, pitched for quite a while just down the road in Anaheim. Before the Braves got him for Tommy Hanson.
Swing and a miss. Ramirez lost his helmet, and he struck out for a second time. 2 outs in the Dodger 8th.
Boy, he has chased a lot of bad balls in this series already. 0 for 4 last night with 1 strikeout, but he was chasing some balls and just hitting them off the end of the bat for easy outs. Chases a slider that never had the plate. Good pitch again by Walden, but look at the helmet flying.
So with Gonzalez struggling tonight, Kemp maybe assumes the mantle of the Dodgers' hottest hitter. His second inning homer, the only tally for Los Angeles to this point.
As hot as the Dodgers were last night, 15 hits, top of the order, tearing it up. 5 of their 8 runs scored by the top 3. Well, tonight between Puig, Gonzalez, and Ramirez, number 2, 3, and 4 in their order, Wood and Walden have held them 0 for 10 with 5 strikeouts. Those guys have been dealing on the hitters tonight. This guy, however, 2 for 3 with a homer. Be careful.
Figure they'll try to keep the ball away from Kemp here with a 3-1 count. Van Slyke is on deck. Inside corner, Beltai. Kemp took it. Full count.
He may not get a better one than that.
Ball 4. Kemp's aboard with a 2-out pass. And now Van Slyke will be called back. It'll be Carl Crawford.
Attention, please, for the Dodgers. Pinch hitting for Van Slyke, number 3, Carl Crawford.
Crawford got the start last night. Was 1 for 3, knocked in a couple of runs, stole a base, and scored a run. Roger McDowell out to talk to Walden about Carl Crawford.
Jordan is rather slow to the plate. Takes him a while to get unfurled and let it go. So keep an eye on Kemp. Hold him close. Change your moves. Step off. There's nothing they'd like better than to get a fast runner into scoring position with 2 out for Crawford. Crawford had a good night last night, 1 for 3 with a walk and drove in 2 runs.
He does not have a pinch hit yet this year. Big hole right side. If Crawford could pull something, Kemp measures off a good lead. And a strike at the knees, 0-1.
Jordan Schaefer really deep in right. The Upton brothers about normal depth.
Up the middle, base hit. So Crawford does finally get his first pinch hit of the season. And now Uribe's coming up with 2 on and 2 out.
That worked out fine for the Dodgers in that they got Kemp into scoring position anyway. Just bounced a fastball back through the box. Not bad coming off the bench, though, and being able to handle an upper 90s fastball. And this guy loves the fastball.
2 on, 2 out. And no swing.
The game-winning home run he hit on the hanging slider from Carpenter last fall. The one he roped yesterday on a hanging slider that was just pulled foul. An effort by the Braves to not throw him a fastball, make him swing at a slider, but they've been hanging him to him.
Bouncer up the middle. Simmons knocks it down. Kemper out third. Throw coming to the plate. Off target. And the Dodgers have taken the lead. A walk and 2 singles after 2 are out.
This is heartbreaking for Andrelton Simmons. Fastball. Didn't get it. Got on top of it. But look where Andrelton's playing. Way over in the hole to pull. Look how far he had to go get it. Now he gets up. But he just kind of gets up and throws blindly because he knows Kemp's going. He did everything he could. He just couldn't get off an accurate throw. That's the second time tonight Matt Kemp has done that to the Braves on infield hits where he's just kept running and forced plays.
One on Tommy La Stella, that one on Simmons. Great play by Andrelton to keep the ball on the infield, technically speaking. But LA has taken the lead after a 2-out walk here in the home 8th. Kemp scored both Dodger runs.
What is about Juan Uribe and the Atlanta Braves?
Well, looking ahead to the 9th, Justin Upton, Evan Gattis, and Chris Johnson are the scheduled hitters.
And Andre Ethier is out on deck, and he would hit for Greinke if Ellis reaches.
Ball in the dirt, and Crawford steals third base. That's an important play. If something gets away from Gattis, Crawford with his good speed might be able to score an insurance run.
He got a walking lead. No chance to get him. Fortunately, Uribe got caught watching it first.
Andrelton Simmons is doing some pantomime catching and throwing at shortstop. Runner at first goes. The pitch is low and outside. Ball 4. It will be Ethier. And he'll bat with the bases loaded. Let's check in with Tom.
Ben, Andrelton Simmons has not stopped rubbing the outside of his right shoulder or lifting his arm above his head to try to either loosen that shoulder up or get through some pain after the diving stop up the middle. I know this game is big and the bases are loaded in a one-run game, but of utmost importance is Andrelton Simmons' health to this team.
What range, but he hit really hard, laid out fully just to get it. May have been the reason that throw was way off the mark too. That hurt.
So here's Andre Ethier with the bases loaded, 2 outs. He's had 1 plate appearance in the last week. That covers 5 Dodger games. He appears to be at the moment the odd man out in the current Dodger outfield alignment.
A 1-run deficit going to the top of the ninth's one thing, but you got to hold them right there.
Ethier went around and is down 0-2. Did he go? Yes, he did. Gaddis applied the tag, and Ethier's out on a check swing strikeout. The Dodgers score after 2 are out. An infield hit by Uribe makes it 2-1. Here's who's due up for the Braves, needing 1 to tie. That's brought to you by Delta.
Effort on a ground ball up the middle, extended his right arm and jammed his shoulder. This was the play with Uribe at the plate that drove in the go-ahead run. Long range, watch his right arm fully extended when he goes down. Couldn't make the play at the plate, and as he came off the field, he was intercepted by head athletic trainer Jeff Porter. They took him back underneath the dugout for further evaluation. Andrelton back out the dugout again after trying to wave Jeff Porter off. And there'll be questions after the game on Braves Live as to Andrelton's health.
That's a classic way of straining that shoulder by laying out like that, hitting so hard.
So changes for the Dodgers. Miguel Rojas takes over for Hanley Ramirez at shortstop. He's going to hit 9th. Carl Crawford stays in the game in left field. He'll bat 6th. And on to try to close things out is Kenley Jansen. Jansen's got the 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up for the Braves. Big Dodger right-hander picked up the save here last night. He worked more than 1 inning.
He got him in some trouble in the 9th inning after he struck out the first 2 guys. Schaefer got a base hit. He walked Simmons and then eventually got Phil Gosselin to pop out to end the ball game. But as good as he is, and as good as he has been in recent days, the Braves did have a threat going in the 9th.
So Justin Upton, as we approach 10 o'clock in LA, leads things off. First pitch swing, pop, fly, foul, strike one. Greinke was terrific. 8 innings, 5 hits, a run, 1 walk, 13 strikeouts. Alex Wood equally impressive. 8 strikeouts, 1 run over 7 innings tonight. And this enormous crowd has seen a terrific October-like baseball game here in late July. 47,386 the announced attendance. Nothing in 2 for Upton.
And it bears repeating, the Braves have not had a leadoff man on base since the 5th inning of last night's game. Justin had a good night, has had a good night. 2 for 3 and a hard hit ball to third for the out.
Out of play to the right. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Upton's making Jansen work. He'll see his 6th pitch.
He's been trying to put him away with fastballs. A bit surprising.
Whew. Just missed.
That was a good one. Target away, went to the outside corner and missed. I think Fox Tracks makes it look like it missed more than it did. But that cutter just off the plate.
Swing and a high fly ball belted deep left field. Upton has tied this game. With 1 swing, Justin Upton ties it up. He rescues Walden, and he breaks the heart of Zach Greinke.
This ball was smoked. Finally went to a breaking ball and hung it right out over the plate. Watch A.J. Ellis. As soon as he heard it, he took 1 peek, and then the mask came off. This went deep into the bullpen. Woo.
Well, let's see if the Braves can get another and take the lead now. 2-2 in the 9th.
I like that type of leadoff man.
19 homers for Upton, a 3-hit game. And now Gaddis the hitter.
Justin had some good swings at him. He was fouling off some 94 heaters, got a tumbler.
First blown save for Kenley Jansen since June 21st. First run allowed in his last 14 appearances. And Gaddis was swinging for the downs. He's homered against him, as you see.
That also took a W right out of the clutches of Zach Greinke, too.
Slow roller. And the peg to first is in plenty of time. Gaddis is retired. Uribe a nice play. One in, one out.
Third baseman, number 23, Chris Johnson.
Thought for a second Uribe and Rojas might run together.
That's low to Chris. Ball one. Braves third baseman is 0 for 3. So he gets another chance to extend his hitting streak. It's currently at 4 games. Fly ball right center, and Kemp gives way to Puig, and the Dodgers center fielder makes the play for the second out. Now we'll see how Simmons' shoulder's feeling. Check out how he swings the bat.
I think if you see him try to bunt, you'll have a pretty good idea.
That man gave the Braves new life leading off the ninth. A mammoth home run deep into the Dodger bullpen to left.
Braves could ill afford to lose Andrelton Simmons for any length of time.
That looked like an innocent play, but sometimes those check swings will bark, won't they?
He's not even taking a practice swing with both hands on the bat. He's been kind of swinging it with his right arm to keep it loose, but he's not using both hands.
Turned it loose that time and skies it to right, and Kemp will track it down. Justin Upton's 19th home run of the season has tied this game. 2-2 heading to the bottom of the ninth inning. A moonshot at Chavez Ravine by Justin Upton. Hampton. And that ties the game at 2. Catch the Braves as we take on the Nationals at Turner Field August 8th through the 10th at Atlanta's home ballpark. Act today. Get an upper box seat in a 1984 Dale Murphy jersey for just $20. Take advantage of this great deal now at Braves.com/steal. This was mashed. And it's our Zaxby's indescribably good play.
No doubt about it. No movement hardly at all from Carl Crawford. Way back into the bullpen. That had to be 430, 440 feet.
I was going to say, that's when big boys hit him in this park. So a couple of changes for the Braves heading to the home ninth. Ramiro Pena's checked in to play third base. When we get to the 10th inning, he'll bat second. That is the 9th spot on the lineup card. And David Hale's on now. He'll face the 1-2-3 hitters for the Dodgers.
And his responsibility now is that of Alex Wood all night. Keep this guy off the bases. First batter he faces is somebody who is disruptive and a real threat to change the game.
And a ball from David to D. Gordon. 2 hits, an error, and a strikeout. His offensive night.
Threw that fastball by him.
Deep short. Let's check the arm of Simmons. Looked fine on that throw.
That hurt.
I think you're right.
Center fielder number 66, Yasiel Puig.
He cut it loose, but that hurt.
Tom? Guys, Anderson Simmons grimace on every single warm-up throw between innings over to Freddie Freeman. He was having a hard time throwing at 70 feet. As you just saw there, the velocity was still there when it needed to be, and his throws were on target, but he was showing the effects of that dive after every warm-up throw and after that play there.
Puig singles up the middle on the first pitch. He's aboard with 1 out. His first hit of the game.
We were talking last night when he had such a good night, had 4 hits, how the ball jumps off his bat. Even ground balls that he hits through the infield are hit with authority and seem to have some top spin on them and shoot through. So now for Don Mattingly, do you leave the hole over on the right side for Gonzalez, or do you try to put the winning run in scoring position by letting Puig run? He's 7 out of 14 in stolen bases.
So that really is the ultimate coin flip. And a ball in the dirt blocked by Gaddis. 1 ball, no strikes. Tough night at the plate to this point for Adrian Gonzalez. 3 strikeouts and 4 trips.
This has really been a good ball game. 180 degrees from last night. David Hale, a good ground ball pitcher, good sinker ball pitcher. Gonzalez has hit into a lot of double plays, 11 on the year. Only Kemp has hit into more.
Strike 1, outside corner. Now it's 2-2.
Well, they've had him chasing some breaking stuff down, haven't they, out of the zone? He's been fishing all night.
Puig started, then stopped. Ground ball second. Simmons for one, and the feed to first in time. That's a double play, and we will indeed see a 10th inning at Dodger Stadium. 2-2 is your score. Beef jerky all season long. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side. We head to the 10th inning. Justin Upton led off the ninth with a long solo homer. And the Braves have evened up the Dodgers at 2 apiece. Kenley Jansen is out of the game due to that man's heroics. Here are the extra innings records this year. Both clubs are under 500. And that's J.P. Howell. This is game number 49 for the Dodger lefty.
He pitched here last night and got off to a good start in the 8th inning. Struck out the first 2 he faced, but then gave up a single to Tommy La Stella, walked Freddie Freeman, and Jansen had to come in the 8th and put out the fire.
So let's see what Jordan Schaefer has up his sleeves here in the 10th. He tried to bunt last time and bunted it right back to Zach Greinke, the Dodgers starter, who will suffer a no decision despite striking out 13 men over 8 innings.
And the 9th inning, the only inning they did not have a strikeout. And the only time the leadoff man reached.
A strike to Schaefer, who's 0 for 3. Showed bunt, and it's swept off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The way this guy follows through, we saw him a couple of times last night, especially on breaking balls, almost finished with his back to home plate. Jordan lately, when he has attempted to bunt, has not been putting it on the lines. He's been bunting it right back to the mound.
A walk would be welcome. Jordan's been a good base stealer all year long for the Braves. Dodger catching core had a few issues throwing out base stealers,
especially Ellis.
And it is a leadoff walk. Well, one of those came around to score for the Dodgers that gave them a brief lead. Let's see if Atlanta can chase around Jordan Schaefer.
Third baseman, number 14,
Ramiro Peña's the hitter. Ellis has caught 5 of 30 would-be base stealers this year.
And he's got a lefty on the mound that's going to make it hard for Jordan to get a good jump if he is going to steal. Could be Peña's just going to bunt him over.
Schaefer's only been caught twice on the base paths this year. There's the bunt, and it's a beauty. Only one play, and it's to first. Nice job by Peña with the sacrifice. And now B.J. Upton is the hitter, with the go-ahead run at second for Atlanta with one out.
Center fielder, B.J. Upton.
Made it look easy, didn't he? Ramiro off the bench does a nice job to get the potential winning run into scoring position.
So B.J. Upton's the batter. He has struck out 4 times. You've got 2 left-handed hitters following Upton. And a sinker for a strike.
I think the Dodgers have already seen that Tommy La Stella doesn't matter to him if it's a left-hander or not. Not an automatic matchup that Don Mattingly would like.
And their bullpen has begun to work again. No balls and a strike. Schaefer broke toward third and is picked off. And Freddie Gonzalez is going to come out and argue this.
Has to. Looked like he was going. Dee Gordon may have thrown a knee down in there on Jordan to make sure he didn't get his hand in. He definitely did. And whether or not he got confirmation from the dugout or not, Freddie needs to have this appeal just to make sure. But Dee Gordon definitely threw a knee down there to try to block the bag.
And the replay angle we're seeing on Dodger Vision confirms what the umpires originally called. Schaefer picked off.
Pick off at second base.
That hurts. 2 outs.
Yeah, that was not a good thing. He might have gotten back in there were it not for the knee. It looked like his right hand kind of bounced off the leg and then to the base.
No balls and a strike.
During the stretch where BJ's done a good job of getting on base in the leadoff spot, had his average while in the leadoff spot at around 250. There are still a few strikeouts along the way, but nothing like this rash he's gone through here.
Yeah, 7 of his last 8 plate appearances are Ks. 4 in a row tonight. And now a 1-2 pitch from J.P. Howell. He is too far inside. Upton's still alive.
Told me J.P. Howell pitched for the Rays, right? Must be an American League East thing. Boy, he takes forever to get ready to pitch again, too.
That guy works fast.
Yep. See him tomorrow night.
Julio Teheran will face Clayton Kershaw. The pitch to Upton is just off the plate. And BJ has a 3-2 count.
Let's check out our Fox tracks. Change up. No cigar.
Upton's aboard with a 2-out walk. Howell's walked 2 men in the inning. And Upton's a threat to run. Now it's lefty-lefty, LaStella versus Howell. But as Joe said, Tommy clobbers left-handed pitching.
And got a hit off Howell last night.
16 for 38. That's a .421 average.
Big lead.
Upton's running. Good jump. LaStella took it, and the throw barely got to the second base bag.
Base stealers are taught one move by left-handers that you can read just about every time. Every time tonight that Alex Wood threw to first, he looked home and then went to first. Home, then to first. The reverse of that is when the left-hander looks at you, he's going home. And as soon as he looked at BJ and his leg came up, boy, BJ was gone. Read it perfectly.
So Upton now 18 stolen bases, and LaStella with a hit could bring him home and put the Braves back in front. And a strike evens the count. LaStella with a quick look back. Kemp shortens up in right. Puig straight away in deep in center. Belt tie strike. LaStella took it. 1-2. We've seen Tommy get 2 strikes and battle to get the count back in his favor.
This guy's pretty much fastball, curveball, and his outpitch the curve. You would expect him to try to get Tommy to chase something away.
Did he go? Yes, he did. LaStella on a check swing is struck out. The Braves got a leadoff walk, a sacrifice. Schaefer was picked off, And then Tommy La Stella struck out to send this game to the bottom of the 10th. Beautiful night in Los Angeles. Extra innings. LA up for their turn in the home 10th. And this will be Turner to lead things off for the Dodgers. He bats in the pitcher spot. Justin Turner. And he skies one out of play, foul for a strike. Howell pitched an inning, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and that's it. And David at the knees, 0-2. Turner, Kemp, and Crawford. Good try, but he missed too tight. Turner's 7 for 18 in a pinch this year for Los Angeles. He's knocked in 6 runs. Ground ball up the middle. It's a pinch hit for Justin Turner.
He's found a new home. And the Braves saw him quite a bit in New York with the Mets. Southern California boy, and he's happy to be back in his own neck of the woods.
Justin lives in Bellflower, California in the offseason. And my guess is here, Joe, that Matt Kemp's not going to be bunting.
If he is, it's news.
He's reached all 4 plate appearances tonight. And has scored both the Dodger runs.
Gonzalez hit into a double play last inning. That ties Kemp for the team high.
Each with 12.
Outfielders all extremely deep. Just enough to just a step off the warning track and left. You don't want a double to beat you here. That's why everybody's deep. They'd give up a single.
Two and one.
Turned the two-seamer over a little bit, ran it back in on him some. Still trying to get a ground ball.
They'll take a strikeout too.
Good changeup.
Our game, the last one standing in the big leagues. It's the last one to be decided. The Padres just finished off the Cardinals. San Diego's playing good ball. They just beat St. Louis 12-1 tonight. That one all the way to the backstop. And Turner in scoring position now with nobody out. Wild pitch.
93 fastball. That's about the top end for David. Tried to make sure he didn't make a mistake with it going in, but Gaddis didn't get over there to block it.
That's one of those little things we were talking about earlier. Could prove very big in the outcome of the game. Now all Kemp needs is a single to potentially win the game for the Dodgers. The 3-2 pitch for Matt Kemp. Base hit left field. Here comes Turner around third. Upton up. Double clutch. Throw to the plate. Late. And the Dodgers walk off in 10.
D. Gordon's on his back right now, but the entire Dodger team is riding Matt Kemp at this moment. Sinker in the middle of the plate. Clean single. But the wild pitch comes home to roost. Matt Kemp had a hand in all of it tonight for the Dodgers.
He's having a huge series, and the Dodgers have won the first 2 games. 8-4 last night. 3-2 tonight in 10 innings. And we're back to recap things from Dodger Stadium after this.